Because if you look at the passion with which people spoke about the Electoral Act, especially when it was still a bill, the passion with which they engaged and all of that, the partisan position people took and all of that, you would think 2023, for instance, INEC would get to polling units before 8 o'clock. Voting would begin at exactly 8:30, just as it is stated in the books, that there will be no more rigging of elections, that everything would go very smoothly. But I just want us to have some kind of interaction here. If you believe that the Electoral Act that has just been signed would lead to the freest and fairest election in Nigeria, please, your hand up. Nobody? One of it. Now there's a clause in that act that I want to get your take on. And the clause says, look, that INEC has the powers to review the election of any result. I mean, the result of any election now that the returning officer was made to sign under duress. Perfect. Very good. I mean, the whole concept of signing result sheets under duress never came up until, I think the first time, will the first time be in Imo State? That's the election of Okorocha? Yeah, I think that would be the first time. And then I know we had a similar thing in Bauchi, when at some point one of the returning officers was saying he signed the result under duress. My problem is, I just hope our politicians will not take advantage of that clause and then bribe some of these returning officers, because we know from what we have seen, I have covered elections in this country for several years. We just hope, and we know that some of these returning officers are corrupt. So it's so easy for an electoral officer to just come up and say, you know what, I signed that result under duress, and then INEC would have no option. So if, for instance, I have taken, if I was an electoral officer and I've taken bribe to influence the election, the outcome of the election, and at the end of the day, I can clearly see that I'm not able to do it, and because I have taken money, I needed to protect my position, and I needed to give the people that I'm taking money from the impression that, look, I have done my job. So the easiest way out for me would be to say, I signed that result under duress. So that's something, it's something that we just have to think about. But most importantly, no matter how beautiful a law is, and I say Nigeria has the beautiful set of laws in the world, no matter how beautiful a law is, it can only work to the extent that the people who the law is meant for, who are supposed to implement the law, allow that law to work for them. So even though we've all accepted that we're going to have electronic transmission of results, don't be surprised that electronic transmission of results will become a subject of litigation, even in the court in the coming after the elections. So let's just hope things get better. But the most important thing is for us as Nigerians, individually, to make sure we do the right thing. If people do the right thing, if people only do the right thing, we would not need to be changing our laws or amending our laws every time an election cycle comes around. I can bet you, after 2023, we're going to have another election in 2027, right? We're still going to fight for the amendment of the Electoral Act. And then in maybe 2031, we're going to have a similar thing. We've been amending our Electoral Act right from since when I can actually remember. So for me, the most important thing is not actually to amend the act or to amend the law. The most important thing is the people who will make this law work. And they're Nigerians. They've not been changed at all. Too much talk. We're very hopeful. Very hopeful. And let's just hope that the young people here too will not join the old brigade. The old brigade who have made elections not work in this country. Let's just hope so. It's a good thing we now have the not too young to run law. So obviously, the next election, we are definitely going to see more young people run for various political offices. Let me at this point now call on Odi to give us the spoken word. Odi. Zero. Oh, it's a she. All right, thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. T. Next to me is Bonnie. We will be singing and doing a bit of spoken word for you this morning. The song's called Run Well. It just reminds us we need to dig a little deeper if we want certain truths. And I think it's very apt for the message to tell you. There is love. We have lots of love. There is music. We have lots of music. Rich are we in the means by which our ancestors rose. Fine is the road to the redemption from my heavy woe. From burden we long to bring, and peace we long to bring. But by violence and responsibility or mutilation, in our anger we brandish retaliation. There goes the music, there goes the love. Architect of our fall, infrastructure of our doom, parading our streets and holding our hearts. Remembering the days that we prayed for the grace that was pure and innocent. The cycle is complete if we continue to inflict. Failing to oversee that the peace we've all been seeking lies deep within. So don't think me stupid for this belief so ordinary, for this belief so simple. If the leaves that hover over me seem to twirl with a different speed than the rest of humanity, insanity somewhat of a proposed question mark from you to me. Don't look at me with pity. Don't deliver me from my shunning. For life is only for love, and time is only that we may find he who makes the world turn the way it does. So be kind and let your legacy flow. Forgive all things and let your seed grow. Be kind and let your legacy flow. Forgive all things and let your seed grow. If you try to find me, if you try to find me, I'm underneath the runway, I'm underneath the runway. If you try to find me, if you try to find me, I'm underneath the runway, I'm underneath the runway. Glorious light, glorious light, glorious light. Underneath the runway, glorious, glorious light, glorious, glorious, underneath the runway. Prayer. This is the beginning of our journey, a voyage into the unknown, the abyss of our intellectual soul. Is he there? Is he really listening? Does he care? Do I need to glisten? Can I come as I am? Am I accepted? Do I cry? Do I sing? Do I speak in tongues? Maybe shy, but I can fly if I see my wrong. Self-examination, so we can profess our belief in the Most High. Sent from above, hallowing the sky. All that is to come is to faith that Atlantis. Seek and find him, never let go of him. Being here, died here, resurrected to find death itself for the lost, scoffing for ass, suffocating in the spirit of the resurrection. For the sacrifice of one man comes to no perfection. He that is, grows in his decline, and nothing can ever separate us. That's nothing. And nothing can ever separate us from his love. If you try to find me, if you try to find me, I'm underneath the runway. I'm underneath the runway. If you try to find me, if you try to find me, I'm underneath the runway. Underneath the runway. I'm glorious. Glorious, glorious. Glorious, glorious. Glorious, glorious. Underneath the runway. Glorious, glorious. Glorious, So the next song we're going to do is Hear Me. And it speaks to our current situation. Though dramatic, it might sound. So it's fun.
I ain't worried. I didn't think that people tell me to be gentle. Then it's not close. I was lying. I didn't want to like I'm away on my soul. I didn't fall to my knees and said, Rain, but I make you dip inside me. I turned to my name on store. Rain, but I make you inside me. If you try something, we gon' never you fuck up. That you must run your boy. That's it, just a fool, yeah. Can't be like you down with it for our area. Hear the clouds singing la 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 la. In the fire ahead, all their guns singing la 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 la. Can't nobody hear me. 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 Nobody hear me. Nobody hear me. We can't. Nobody hear us. Nobody really don't. Nobody hear me. We can't. Nobody can't. Nobody hear me. Nobody can't. Nobody hear me. Now we blame our leaders for their sins. Why we on our inside job in this? If we let it terror, then who we be? These are people who evidences abuse. And we blame our leaders for their sins. That I on our inside job in this. If we let it terror, then who we be? These are people who evidences abuse. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What have you done? Since that's mine, meant to be honest, made us little. Police and I'm into politician. So many person, we just say but I to die. Since that's mine, make to the honor, made us little. Police and I'm into politician. So many person, we just say I fall to my knees and say, Rain, but I make you dip inside me. I turn to my living story. Rain, but I make you inside symphony. Say, we're listening to Commando, open up the door. If you try something, we gon' never you fuck down. That put us on your board there. That's it, you're not food there. Then we'll be like some time, we're looking for our area. Hear the guns singing la 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 la. Hear the fire and all the guns singing la 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 la.
Hear Me by the ARB Band. And finally, we'll leave with a call to action. A song called Do for Love. Every morning when I wake up, please pray for Nigeria. Don't forget who.
Don't forget.
Every morning when I wake up, I pray for Nigeria. Don't forget who.
Don't forget.
And if we all carry one weight, and if we all chip in with our own contributions, then we'll do God.
In order to God.
Yes, if we all carry our own weight, and if we all chip in with our own contributions, then we'll do God.
In order to God.
Yes, we've got talent, put away, put away. 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 Don't give back, don't give back.
Do for country, do for God. Do for country. Do for country, do for God. Do for country. Do for country, do for God. Do for country.
What you do for love, what you do for love, what you do for love, love, do for love, what you do for love, what you do for love, what you do for love, do for love, love, tomorrow morning when you rise up, please pray for Nigeria. Don't forget.
Don't forget.
Tomorrow morning when you wake up, please pray for Nigeria. Don't forget.
Don't forget.
If we cast down by the gates of the town, cast down by the body to go to battle.
In order to God.
Cast down by the gates of the town, cast down by the body to go to battle.
In order to God.
Cause we've got talent, put away, put away. Talent,
Put away, put away.
talent, put away, talent, put away, put away. Talent, put away, put away. Don't be mad,
Do for country. Do for country. Do for love. Do for country. Do for country. Do for love. Do for country. Do for country. Do for love. Do for country.
won't you do for love? Won't you do for love? Won't you do for love, love? Do for love. Won't you do for love? Won't you do for love? Won't you do for love, love? Do for love, love, love. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We are the ARB Music Band and Odie. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Thank you very much. So lifting. Some people have given up on this country. Some people will tell you nothing good can come out of Nigeria. Some people say because of the challenges, especially the security challenges we've been dealing with for a number of years now, that things can never get better. But that's a big lie. It's a big lie. I'm very optimistic about this country. I'm very optimistic that we're going to overcome the current challenges we're dealing with at the moment. And we can all see that even in the face of the challenges that we're dealing with, some very good things, fantastic things are still happening. Fantastic things. That in spite of our challenges, we're not allowing them to distract us. And you know what's most important? It's important to see that some young people, so many of them in this country, still believe in the future of this country, still believe in this country, that despite what people say, they're still very optimistic and they're still passionate about this country, that things would only get better. These are the people who are still staying back in the country. Some of us are running away from the country. Quite a number. I remember covering an event not quite long ago. That was in Abuja. And it was a recruitment exercise for Nigerian doctors. And then I spoke with some of these doctors, and from what they say, you can clearly see that some of them have actually given up on the country. But the truth is, if you give up on this country, you give up on yourself. Because it can never get better anywhere, no matter where you go to. Nigeria is still your country. It's still your home. And whether you like it or not, no matter how much you think you make it there, you would still come back. And you know the funniest thing, whether you like it or not, when you're there, if there's no peace here, you can never have peace over there. Because your people are here. Your destiny is tied here. And that is why we must all work to make this country work for each and every one of us. And that is what Citizens Unite is about. Talking about the group that we are all here for today. This is a group that believes in this country, that believes in the Nigerian project, that is working to actualize the dreams we all had for this country. And those dreams will become reality in our lifetime. We know that. It's a group. It's a pressure group that is working assiduously and passionately for the vice president of this country to become the president of the country in 2023. And you know what? It can happen. It's for no other reason than the belief that this group has for that man. So, the group is hoping and believing that the vice president will heed the call, that important call, and come out to run for the presidency of this country. And the group believes that that would happen. Well, I can't speak for the group. I will have to call on some people to come and speak to the core values of this group and tell us more about the group. Let me at this point call on Violet to please come forward. And then we'll have Zaina, Ogbonna, Selina, and Dr. Miriam Shatima. So we'll start with Violet.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. So here, Mr. Deji has said a lot. He has what Citizens Unite is all about. But however, I'm still going to go into my write-up. So, as a writer, I cannot help but tell a story every time I am presented an opportunity to speak, because storytelling is integral to our culture. We all remember the story of the tortoise under the moon and everything. Stories I've come to understand help people relax and bring down the perception that I'm sure you all have a perception of me as I walked up here. So it helps you bring down that perception, and it also helps me get into my speech so that I'm not remembered as a tongue-tied, confused lady. I wrote a management exam recently, and I was asked to expound on the key traits a leader must have, and I chose honesty. Needless to say, my reflection was the best, and all I did was share a story of a personal encounter I had experienced. My organization only recently decided to rehabilitate someone in the neighborhood, and I had assigned a staff to see to it that the process was smooth and that all was well taken care of. The staff doctored one of the receipts from the hospital in order to make a few extra cash. After his dishonest act was discovered, I made a recommendation to the organization that he be fired, and that recommendation was upheld. The above story can be likened to our Nigerian society. A lot of us try to cheat the system one way or the other by contract padding, compromising quality for personal gain, and a host of many other abominable things. The more we allow corruption, the corruption disease, and cash is king mentality to eat at our economy by celebrating corrupt individuals and deifying them instead of treating them like the social pariah they are, the more difficult it is for our economy to survive this cancer. To understand the effect of corruption on our society, I'll share a few figures here. Did you know that from 1970 to date, Nigeria has made over $340 billion from oil alone? However, the Dubai project we see today was done in 6 years with a $12 billion budget. Imagine if these resources were utilized judiciously, $350 billion. Can you envision with me, where would that be as a nation? With the largest economy and the largest population in Africa. If we had leaders who not only abhorred corruption, but also had zero tolerance for it, and as such developed a system where corruption will not thrive. Rather, we're in this space where our youth, with the brightest of minds, would rather do odd jobs in foreign nations than return home, because corruption has deprived them of basic amenities like electricity, water, security, and so on. I saw a tweet, actually, recently, that was a poor attempt at a joke, where a Twitter user offered to go with the evacuation plane meant to rescue Nigeria in war-torn Ukraine. We're in a space where a war-torn Ukraine is preferred to my Nigeria, our Nigeria, and that is a sad reality. Saying that I believe we can have a nation that is void of corruption is a pipe dream, because even the world's best economies still have corruption in it, existing. However, they have zero tolerance for corruption, corrupt practices, and corrupt individuals. Zero tolerance for corruption is one of the core values of Citizens Unite. A typical example is Singapore, whose revolutionary leader Lee Kuan Yew decided that for their nation to evolve and thrive, they as a people had to develop zero tolerance for corruption. True to it, Singapore moved from a third world nation to the first-rated nation it is today. However, what do I believe? Can Nigeria as a nation survive this cancer called corruption and measure up to the likes of Singapore and China? Yes, I do. All it takes is one man. The man that was courageous enough to allow cases against corrupt judges follow due process which led to their dismissal. The man who cleansed Lagos State judiciary system. the man whom my colleagues and I believe will take Nigeria to a place where there will be zero tolerance for corruption. A Nigeria where integrity will be celebrated and applauded. A Nigeria where meritocracy rules. A Nigeria where the best medical care is accessible to all. A Nigeria is what we as Citizens Unite are fighting for. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now call on Zainab to please come forward. Zainab, your hands together for her, please.
Members of the platform, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I don't have much to say, but I have to say, and I will say, as a Nigerian lady from North, I make it proud to say, Citizens Unite is a uniquely the best movement to break vicious cycles of ethnicity, religious, and political differences that bedeviled our nation and stunned the growth of human capital development in Nigeria. Citizens Unite is to re-establish hope for a better Nigeria. Therefore, the mandate of Citizens Unite is to raise intensive awareness, to raise up to take informed decisions for ourselves, by ourselves, for a greater Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zainab. Selina, please come forward. Your hands together for Selina, please.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians. And good morning, Nigeria. Some of you might be wondering why I'm saying good morning, Nigeria. If we start looking at ourselves and calling ourselves by the name Nigeria, we would be able to see and to think on how we can make Nigeria better. I see myself and I call myself Nigeria before foreigners and before people who come into the country. They have this perception about Nigeria. Of course, we know corruption. They think we are all dubious. But wherever I go to, and they ask me, where are you from? And I say Nigeria, and they shrink. What do? I say, I am Nigeria. Whatever you get here, that's what you get in Nigeria. That's simply because in Nigeria, we still have visionaries. In Nigeria, we have people who believe in this country. In Nigeria, we have people who are willing to move this country forward. In Nigeria, we have great intellectuals. We have those who can think positive. We have those who can dwell and go within themselves and tap into their positive mental attitude to see how they can drive this nation forward. Nigeria is a great nation. There's a whole lot that can come out of Nigeria. I don't believe in running away. I actually believe that what we're looking for is here. Because how is it that we have people come into Nigeria day in, day out? What are they looking for? They're looking for what you and I have failed to see. If you see yourself as Nigeria and not Nigeria, what do you want? What do you want for Nigeria? not what Nigeria is at the moment, not what our forefathers or politicians have made it to be. What do you want for Nigeria? If you are Nigeria, what do you want for yourself? What would you like to have? Who would you like to be? And what would you like to do in your country, your fatherland? What would you like to see? The next election is going to be an election where we have to open our eyes, where we have to think, go within us and truly decide and come out with the outcome that we deserve as individuals if we see ourselves, first of all, not as Nigerians, but Nigeria. So if I ask you today, what do you want? What do you want if you're Nigeria? What would you like to see? What would you like to have? What would you like to do? If you stand on this, you would be able to think who can join you to move Nigeria forward. As for me, I am looking for someone who is highly intellectual. I am looking for someone who can think outside the box. Because I think that our problems can be solved if we can think, if our leaders can think, if those who will bring on the table can think, if they can think out of the box, if they can use their imagination, and if they believe that they can move the people forward, I believe the Nigeria that we are looking for will emerge. So before I leave you today, I want to ask you, if you do not want what is happening right now in Nigeria, what do you want? What do you want for yourself? I see young people here. I see business people here. What do you want to move your business forward? What do you want if you want things to change for you? What would you rather have if you don't like this? Until you decide, until you sit down and say, this is what I want, you will not get it. Because life begins, or you begin to move forward from the day you decide what you want, and from the day you set your outcome. So what's the outcome that you desire? Stop looking at the process. Now let's look at the end. What do we want? How are we going to get that? How do we get those who will help us get to that point on the table so that they can think to take us there? So if you're with me on this, I want you to see yourself first of all as Nigeria. And as you see yourself as Nigeria, tell me, what do you want? Are you ready to move forward? I am ready to move forward. Are you ready to move forward? I'd like to hear you. Are you ready to move forward? Are you going to decide who is going to sit on the table and move you forward? Are you going to decide? Or are you going to fold your hands and wait for those you do not want to be pushed and then you start complaining? Don't forget, whatever you complain about, you keep having more of it. Whatever you think about, you attract, you magnetize. So if you think Nigeria is bad, if you fold your hands and you watch things go bad and you keep thinking about it, you're going to magnetize it. So it is time for us as individuals, as young Nigerians, to come together, to concentrate our thoughts and begin to think about the Nigeria that we want in a positive way, so that we can begin to magnetize the people and the resources that we need to move it forward. So if you're ready to move Nigeria forward, let me hear you say yes. Yes. Let's do it. Thank you very much.
I mean, it just can't be better put. Selena said something very important. We are Nigeria. And I tell people that all the time. When you say Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, Nigeria is nothing, Nigeria is this, remember you are referring to yourself. We are all Nigeria, individually and collectively. Individually and collectively, we are Nigeria. Whatever we say about this country is a reflection of us. How we want this country to be is how we are. We are Nigeria. And honestly, Selena just put it very correctly. Let's just take a short music break here, and then we'll come back to hear from one more person about the core values. Oh, from two persons actually, about the core values of Citizens Unite. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.